Guys, I want to tell you about a new niche that we're testing at this very moment. Let me go ahead and turn this camera a little bit so we can get a little light in here. So here's my opinion on going into new niches. I'm not a huge fan of going to just testing a whole bunch of niches because I believe if the niche already works, why would you try and fix it? Why would you try and deviate? Instead, just focus on the cities where people are not focusing. So that's kind of my MO. I always talk about boring niches. You guys have probably heard me talk about these same niches over and over. So here's what I do when I test out new niches. Here's what I do. Okay. Typically, when people find out that you have this skill set where you can generate leads, you can build websites, you can do SEO, whatever, they're going to reach out to you and say, hey, could you get me leads in XYZ niche? Could you get me leads in my niche? Could you get me leads in this, whatever? Or they'll refer you to someone. Hey, I have a friend. Or if you have a current client, they'll say, hey, can you get my buddy leads in his business? So what I do is I always look at those opportunities as chances to test out the new niche because there's less risk, right? I already have a business owner that is ready to rock and roll, somebody who's willing to give me money. They already trust the person that's referring them. It's going to take very little for me to convince them. So what I do in those situations is I do the deal and I let the business owner know. I say, hey, I've never been in this niche, just so you know, I haven't. However, I've been in the niche that your buddy referred me to, obviously. I've been in this one, this one, this one, and this one. So it should, in theory, work the exact same, but I just want to let you know up front so that we're on the same page, okay? So I let them know up front, okay? And I tell them, so here's the deal. Here's how it works. I kind of explain the whole thing. And I use these as opportunities to go into these new niches because it's a perfect chance with no freaking risk, okay? Rather than I just randomly wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to test that niche. I'm going to test that niche. I'm going to test that niche. By the way, how dope is this freaking Old Navy tee? Shout out to my my wife that printed these off. If you guys don't rock Old Navy tees on the 4th of July, you're missing the boat, okay? Anyway, so I want to tell you about a deal we literally just did last week. So we have a client currently as we speak, and he's super happy. And this is a guy that's a mason. Okay, he does block walls, he does all kinds of different rock work, he does everything, right? He's super happy. We've been giving him a ton of leads. Calls us up, and it's actually not even one of his buddies. It's somebody that he keeps running into projects on, okay? And this specific individual that was asking, like, how are you getting your work? Blah, blah, blah. He's been hustling, shaking hands, kissing babies, going to all these different meetups, you know, talking to contractors and all of that. And my guy basically told him, like, well, I have this company that's killing it for me, that's giving me all these leads. Maybe you should call them. So we get this call from this guy, and we got a referral first, and our client said, hey, this is so-and-so. He has a company that does excavation. Okay, now this is a niche that I've never done before. I've thought about it. I've just never tested it out because I've kind of had my hesitations for different reasons, okay? However, this is a perfect opportunity because the guy's basically going to be already sold. Funny story though, he really wasn't sold. I actually kind of had to sell him harder than I thought, but it was, at least I had a warm body. I didn't have to go and do a whole bunch of work. And we took this as an opportunity. And so as we speak, at the time of me recording this, we just signed a deal with this person at the end of last week. This is literally our first couple days working with him. And we are testing out the excavation niche. Now, I already told him, I said, hey, the big, huge jobs for the houses and everything else, that's gonna be stuff you're gonna have to go and shake hands. You're gonna have to go and network with contractors. You're gonna have to go do this and that and the rest. That's what's gonna happen. I said, but I have a funny feeling because I've been doing this for a while that you're going to get the people who want their pools dug, or you're gonna get the people that want their trampoline dug, or you're gonna get the people that want the water features, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so we just put together a deal. We did the numbers, we ran everything, and we did a 3-month deal, just 90 days. I would have done a 6-month deal, but because it's July, if I do a 6-month deal, what's gonna happen is that contract's gonna end right in the middle of winter, the very worst time for a home service company contract to end. So I did a 3-month deal. I typically would also do a 9-month deal, so it lands us in the spring, but I'm just not so sure about this niche yet. But I'm using this as an opportunity to test the excavation niche. And I will tell you, after just a couple of days, we've already had a handful of leads. One person called, they wanted an entire water feature dug out. That should be a $5,000 to $10,000 job if he can land it. When we had a couple of other leads, and was not the one that called them, it was my team. I don't know what the status of those were, but it's working so far. Why am I telling you this? Because guys, number one is if you're gonna try out new niches and you don't wanna spend your own money, ask for referrals, look for referrals, use those opportunities, use those as opportunities to go into new niches. When your buddy or your uncle or your brother says, hey, can you get me leads in this niche? Let them know, hey, I've never done it. However, if you can, if you understand the risk, I'm willing to do it for you, and we can do it on a trial basis. And then if it doesn't work after 3 months, we both knew what was going to happen going into it. Okay. Number one, that's the number one lesson. Number two is I want you guys to be aware that I am testing out the excavation niche. And the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to run it for 3 months and we're going to have to shut it down at the end. And I'm going to go, hey, that's not a great niche, whatever. I'm not going to go into it. But the best that's going to happen is I'm going to discover an incredible new niche, which I can now go basically nationwide. I don't usually go nationwide. I usually build 5 to 10 websites in the niche if it works. But best case scenario, I get to build 5 to 10 new sites and do 5 to 10 new deals in a new niche. And I just want you guys to be aware, I am checking out the excavation niche. I will do a video in 3 months and I'll let you know my findings. Did it work? I'm going to make money. Regardless, I am going to make money. That's what's cool is the way that we structure these, the way that we sell these up front. Before we even built the site, we had a credit card on file, contract signed, everything was agreed on. So I know I'm going to make money. By the way, like I did the margins, I'm going to make at least $500 on this deal. Just to kind of break down the deal, it was a $1,200 a month deal. It's going to cost us $500 in ads and about $100 in all the other costs. It's going to be about a $500 to $600 profit deal, even if this deal does not work. And why am I making that much money? Because I did the homework. We checked out the cost per click. We checked out the competition. There's no competition. This could be a home run, or we might just make a couple $1,000. Either way, take these opportunities as chances to check out new niches and keep your eye on the excavation niche. I will do a follow-up video to this one. I'll see you guys later.